gonna be able to help me out of this one. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review, and yeah, that's how we're gonna have to do it today. Today I'm taking a look, or I'm gonna attempt to take a look at the Mezco Ultimate Kong figure, King Kong of Skull Island. And obviously this thing is huge, so it wouldn't fit into my normal booth. You'd just see wall and everything else. I figured this is easier. And to be honest, I had forgotten I even ordered this damn thing. They debuted this at Toy Fair 2018, which just happened to be my first Toy Fair, my first trip to New York, and the first thing I saw whenever I went into the Javits Center and got onto the floor was this big bastard. So it's a little bit of a reminder to that time when I was more innocent. But it's also, hopefully, a King Kong that'll fit into my 6-inch scale collection. Looking at the package, it looks like a big crate. You have this wraparound piece of cardboard that has the Kong logo on it. That wraps around to the other side. What does it look? Oh, there's Kong peeking through. Come around to the back where it's usually, you know, promotional pictures and such, and nope, it's still same thing coming around. Not a toy for children, intended for adult collectors only. Because kids, hell, I can barely pick this up. When I got this in the mail, I thought, what the hell did I order? Around to the other side, again, not much of anything. On the top, you still get that crate look. On the bottom, more of the same. Let's get this thing out of the box. Opening it up, it is a huge clamshell. Due to the substantial size of the figure, it is strongly recommended that you do not display on surfaces above 3 foot high. Kong! Oh. Alternate hands, kind of grippy, I guess. I think the small one had a little figure with it, but the big one doesn't appear to have that. Alternate calm Kong head. I've tried to say that 16 times already. Yeah. And a figure bigger than my kid when he was born. Oh, working the joints loose because I don't want to break them. What do you think? Okay. Looking at the sculpt, I think it's pretty close to what we saw with the smaller scale version they released a while back. I had that for a very short time. I got it out and I broke the hip peg. So I lost interest very, very quickly. Somebody else wanted it. I sent it off to him. He's enjoying it. But I also knew this was coming. And this is more my speed, especially scale-wise with the rest of my collection. The sculpt on the fur doesn't seem as sharp as it did on that other figure. This is Rotocast, I think it's called. It's hollow plastic with some joints here and there. And it definitely has less joints than that figure. But I wouldn't call the softer hair sculpt a negative, I think, because it kind of works in a more realistic feel all the way around. Because of the sharpness of the sculpt of that smaller figure, it came out kind of anime-ish, kind of cartoony. This I get a more real-world vibe from, especially in the face. While the fur is, well, the majority of the figure, it's easy to lose the details kind of in there, but once you start looking closer, like at the eyes, there's a glossiness to them. Also, because of the size, they were able to paint it more realistic than they can on a smaller scale. So you have the black in the middle, and then the flare out of the orange color just kind of sets off the face. And that's along with the teeth. It has a more realistic paint job with the whites and the bone color, and then the red around it. Dark wash, a little glossy, like it's wet. And that's also true for the cuts, too. There's some red, there's a little bit of glossiness, like it's open wound. So the overall look, the overall proportions, I like it. It's Kong. It's gonna look strong on my shelf. But what I didn't realize, or I forgot about, or whatever, is the decreased amount of articulation in the bigger figure. Because it's Rotocast, or because of its size maybe, they didn't want to risk, and I'm assuming that, putting more joints in, how it may buckle under its own weight, the hinges would loosen up or something, so they only added the very basics. Although I think of basics as head, shoulders, hips. But there is a torso joint and there are ankles. Oh, and there's wrists too. With the head, let's see what's under there. Okay, there is a big old ball joint under there. That gets you side to side, up and down. I did that completely backwards, didn't I? And then rotation on that joint. And it's not that hard to pop and swap, so that's not a bad thing. You go too far and it wants to pop off there just because of the shape. Look down, look up. Oh, it does get nice side to side. Ugh. The shoulders come out that far. Rotate all the way around. The torso, it's not the greatest, but you do get a little bit of movement. The hips come out. Not quite better than some Marvel Legends, but it's close. Raise not much. Back, you actually do get a little swivel on that ball. And then at the, so heavy. And then at the ankle, a little bit of rock, a little bit of back, a little bit of forward. Again, because of the weight of the overall piece, I'm assuming they didn't want to put a lot of motion there because it starts to lean. And you don't want this big guy coming down on top of other toys on the shelf. He's not going to get down on his knuckles or anything like that, but standing on the shelf, it's going to be big and imposing. What are you looking at? In the package, he comes with 2 fists, and much like the neck, that's easy enough just to pop off, and you can fit a grip hand in there. And then for heads, in the package, he has a gritting teeth, angry kind of look. He's staring into your soul. He's about to squash you. Like I said, you could pop that off. You can put on the more somber head. Again, those eyes, if nothing else, the eyes look fantastic. It's just, there's a realism behind the sculpt. You almost feel sad for him, but scared at the same time. You don't want to look up at this guy. Well, what? No. You know, like if you were looking up at this head, whatever sadness you felt in the face or in the eyes with the previous 2 heads, this one, you're thinking, oh, well, I'm dead. Size-wise, he stands at, almost 19 inches to the top of his head. He's got a span of about 20 inches as far as his arms will go out. For comparison, here he is with the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four, Invisible Woman, and Mr. Fantastic. And yeah, I don't know Kong's exact height, his exact scale, but this on the shelf, yeah, this seems like a good compromise or a representation of Kong if you want to put him into your display or shelf or whatever. Because I don't have anything this big. Oh, yeah, look at this. Dusty Sentinel. How about this? That'll give you an idea of size, and I just bumped it, so it's not like it's just gonna fall off your shelf with every little bit of movement. It seems to be solid. Well, I don't even have the legs flat. There you go. You know where I'm going with this. How about that? So at the end of the day, could it be more articulated? Sure. Could it be bigger? Sure. Could it be more realistic? Sure. But for what it is, I can't help liking it. Like I've said a couple times throughout this review, it's a good representation of Kong without being too Kongish. And what I mean by that is, yeah, he's going to eat some vertical space in your display. Hell, he's going to eat horizontal, but you could still put characters around his feet. The problem with the less articulation is that you can't crunch him down. You can't put him on all fours. You can't have him sitting. So this is it right here. He's going to be standing. You can't fudge him into different shelving. You know, you have to have the space for this. And in that case, I could see that as a negative, especially if you have a static display or shelving unit or something. Could be a better action figure, but it certainly has a charm to it. I don't know. And now I've talked the big talk, where the hell am I going to put this in my display? So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe, or whatever the platform you're watching this on allows. Much love to the Plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or just supporting the channel, check out patreon.com. But wherever you're watching this, I'll always catch you on the foosh.